Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. We are in the shop today. We're working on the Freeborn 40 and Operation Get It Started is in full swing now. I'm working on the intake and exhaust manifolds today. And so we're going to go through and get this beast of a intake and exhaust manifold hopefully cleaned up, installed, torqued down, and ready to be used. So just like last time, I'll give you a little bit of trivia, at least about what I know about these things, or what I think I know. This is a two-piece unit, and it does have some smog components in it. I'm just going to take these off here. And if I take this top piece off, there is a flapper valve in here, and I'll spin that around so hopefully you can see it. And this valve, in its home position when it's cold, is forward like this, and I think what it does is as the exhaust comes out, it kind of makes the exhaust circulate in there a little bit more, and then as it heats up, this actually flips over and kind of directs the exhaust down into the exhaust pipe here. So now most people who do desmogs take these out, and our local kind of Land Cruiser shop, they desmogged one of my other 79, and they took this all the way out and they put some caps on here, and that's what I'm going to do, and I'll show you that a little bit later. But basically there's two bolts on here. You have to grind them a little bit to get them off, but they just come off, and then this plate comes out. Let me see if I can spin that up. This plate here comes out, and this whole unit just slides out this way. The only other thing here is there's an EGR valve that we're going to cover off down here on the bottom, and then there's one more in the back here that we're going to cap off as well. So I have some block off plates for those that I'm going to use. I bought the block off plates, and I found the receipt the other day from 2016. So it's been a while coming. So now there's a ton of videos out there on even how to clean these specific manifolds, how to take them apart and clean them up and put them back together, also just cleaning in general. So I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of cleaning and all of that. I'm just going to put this in the Rust-Oleum 3000, and then when we come back, it will be ready to go. And there it is. And I did all that without an edit. What do you think about that? All right, so let's take this off of here. So I'm going to take this out. We'll set this off. And just like I said earlier, I took the flapper out. I should just turn it here. You can see it's gone, and then I tapped it and the ends here. And put some plugs in there. It looks nice. That's the biggest thing. And like I said, the local Land Cruiser shop here, this is how they desmog mine, and they really know what they're doing. So I think that probably works pretty well. There's just a couple other block off plates that we'll put on kind of later once we get the manifold installed, but they just cover up like the EGR valve and some other kind of sensor that is for smog. There is a couple of gaskets and a shield here, and I'm going to put those on. They just go on here, and I think this shield is just really here to provide some kind of a barrier between the intake and exhaust manifold. So it just has a gasket, the shield, the other gasket, and then the intake manifold goes on top. And hopefully we can get all the nuts and bolts in here. See if I can do this on the camera. So while I'm doing this, I focus grouped my first video with my family, and they said, I asked them if the camera really added 20 pounds, and they said, no, it looks about right there, Dad, which is a little concerning. I think my COVID 15 or 20 or whatever the saying is has turned into a lot more than that. So I'm gonna have to start working on that right away. The other thing they said was, why do you call it the Freeborn 40? And the reason is that this Land Cruiser is Freeborn Red. That's the Toyota name for the red. So that's why the Freeborn. And finally they said, you need to clean up your shop. Which is probably a fair criticism. It is pretty bad in here. So some good advice on things to hopefully make it better for you. I don't want it to be painful to watch here. So there wasn't too much cringing going on. So I think it did okay, I guess. So that's all we need to do here. I'm not going to tighten these all the way up until this is completely up against the manifold and snugged up. Because I don't want to tighten it down and have it a little crooked or, anything like that. So we'll tighten it all up first on the manifold, and then we'll go ahead and we'll tighten up these bolts here and just kind of cinch them down. Now, the Land Cruiser community would tell you that you need to go and have this all machined flat and all of that, but I put a straight edge on it and it's pretty flat. I couldn't even see where there would be any gaps anywhere. So I'm hoping that I can get by without that. So next you see me, I'll be over at the car and we'll start getting ready to put this thing on. All right, so if you look in here, you can see a couple things. The biggest thing is this. So this is like some pitting around a couple of the exhaust manifold ports there. And again, I think that it'll be okay. The reason why that's there is, again, there were headers on here that were aftermarket headers, and I don't think those headers seal very well. And I have a feeling that this truck at one point in time sat with the hood up on it for a long time, and any water that kind of rain or anything that kind of came in here probably just kind of worked its way down. Actually, if you look inside these pistons, you can see that they definitely had a little water on them at one time. They got a little bit of rust on them, a little scale on the wall, but again, not so much that I want to completely tear this engine out and redo it. So, and it was running fine when I got it, and so we're going to continue to use it. So that being said, what I will do is I'll go around and put a little high temperature RTV on all of this and kind of get it hopefully dialed in to where we don't have any trouble with it. So that'll be next. All right, so I'm going to try and wiggle in here. And this is what I'm using. This Permatex Ultra Red has a picture of a cylinder head on it, so I think we're good. Let's take this out. And, oops. Oh, wow, I got to cut the end. Okay, hold on, I'll be right back. All right, let me see if I can get this all in one shot here. I think I was in high school auto shop the last time I put a manifold on an engine like this. I did it with a friend of mine, Mike, and Mike kind of became a legend in town. One night he decided that he was going to steal all the alcohol from the restaurant that he worked from. He'd gotten a key, and he thought it would be a good idea to steal all the alcohol and then sell it to all his friends. So he did that. He went to the restaurant, he put all the alcohol that he could in the catering truck that the restaurant had, drove it somewhere, hid the booze. Then he didn't know what to do with the truck, so he decided to drive it into the California Aqueduct, which is like a big concrete river that runs through the state. And, well, needless to say, that was kind of front page news. There was a picture of the truck in the aqueduct and an article, and they were looking for who did that. And unfortunately, he got caught. His mom saw that he'd framed the article in the picture and put it on his wall in his room. And also he had a case of booze in his closet that had the name of the restaurant on top of it. And she kind of put two and two together and turned him in. And unfortunately, he was 18, so he had to do a little time. But he, I think he got through it pretty well. I saw him many years later, and he was doing great. So anyways, one of those stories you just kind of never forget. I think I'm going to throw us on super speed here and just get these in. All right, so there you go. So we got all that side covered. Now I'm going to put this on here. It's the F for forward out. There's an F right there. This is an OEM gasket, so I think it should work pretty well. Let's just see if we got that as good as we thought we did. I think we did. Okay, and I'm going to let that sit there, and we're going to do the manifold real quick. I'm going to stop you for that because that's just not all that interesting. Let's see if we can set this thing in here. Well, that does not want to go. Boy, that is really tight. I think I got it though here. I'm gonna take these nuts and try and just cinch it down to the head. So I'll probably just throw you on super speed here because I'm just gonna be wrenching on this for a second. All right, so I'm going to take this back off now. I guess it's a test fit though. That was a heck of a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be. But I think we got it here. Out of breath. So I didn't get new washers for these. I forgot to get new nuts, and maybe I'll throw some on here later. But I think it'll be all right. Let's go ahead and snug that up a little bit. And then take this one off. Get a washer on there. Kind of on the clock here. RTV's not going to wait for me. It's going to go when it's ready to go. So I got to hustle. I think I'm going to throw us on super speed here and just get these in. Alright, so it's the torque. I printed this off the internet. So there's a couple of these out there, but they're both the same. And I'm going to do 30, and then it says ultimately it's 36 is the total. Might give her a little more. Yeah, no. So I'm going to start off with 30. And then down here. And then over here. Oops, this wasn't quite all the way tight, was it? Oh. I'm going to come around the other side here and get this from this side. You might be wondering why I don't have the fenders on. This is one of the reasons. This is really a pain with a fender to deal with. That one I am not going to be able to get to, so we're going to have to eyeball that one. Let's go about that tight. All right, so that's at 30. I'm going to do this one more time at 36, and then we'll take a look here. And I'm not going to tighten that back one anymore. That one felt pretty tight. Well, there you go. So I think we have that in there pretty well. These two fought me a little more than I thought I should have. Maybe test fit that at first, just so a little more smooth on the video. Well, there you go. Whew, that's the first time I've ever done something like that on a video. So I'm not too sure how it's actually going to look, so but we'll take a look at it here in a little bit. Everything's on, everything's torqued down. The biggest problem I had was it seemed like those two bolts, those two studs in the middle, just was like they were a little too close together or something. But once we got those wrestled on there, everything else went pretty well. So thanks for watching.